Live from Channel 4, the local station, this is an update from the Weather Authority.
Hey everyone, meteorologist Chris Holtzman here. It is the end of the week, Friday afternoon, and we are tracking very pleasant temperatures and also plenty of sunshine overhead. Now, in terms of what to expect, the weekend right around the corner, we'll start with tonight because we are clear and cool. We have patchy fog on the way, so another night where some visibility could be reduced. You may want to plan extra travel time if you are heading out early on Saturday, but for the weekend, really each day will be the same. We'll be mostly sunny and breezy as we head into Sunday. Saturday, not so much. And then Monday, we're keeping that sunshine around. High temperatures each day for the weekend and even into early next week in the 70s to near 80 degrees. So we are warming up. And you might be asking, well, is the cold coming back? Well, really, no time this week or into the upcoming weekend or even next week. So certainly that cold was short-lived and we're entering a more fall-like pattern here and even a spring-like pattern with high temperatures for some of us into the 80s over the upcoming week. Live look right now, of course, this is this afternoon here at the Jacksonville International Airport. We do have plenty of sunshine around, a temperature of 74 degrees. The humidity's down. We have that dry area of high pressure over us and we are tracking a bit of a breeze, a northeasterly wind around 11 miles per hour. So our setup that we have a large what we call ridge of high pressure in place. Basically all of this weather is riding on the north side of that high. You can see well to our north. We're practically cloud free across Florida up into Georgia, the Carolinas, points west. So a pretty strong area of high pressures over us. And that means expect a little change to the weather. That will continue to sink a little bit more to the south. Our wind will start to turn more onshore and also a southerly wind. And that'll bump those temperatures up, as I mentioned, into the upper 70s to low 80s as we head over the upcoming week. Any impactful weather is well to our north as the air is just too dry. So temperatures right now, depending on where you are, we're looking at right around 70 along the coast, generally along and east of 95, low 70s, mid to upper 70s west of the metro and west of 95. Lake City's at 75. It's 75 in McClenny. Over to Jacksonville, we're at 74. Upper 60s in Brunswick. Green Cove Springs is up to 76. Palatka is at 75 degrees. So in terms of our forecast over the next couple of hours, if you have any evening plans, of course, and many outdoor activities heading to the fair, should be a beautiful evening. We're looking at a relatively clear sky with temperatures back into the 50s and 60s. So again, really no weather, at least impacts, at least this evening and even over the next couple of days as Futurecast shows our area very dry. So low temperatures for tonight. We are looking at temperatures back into the 40s and 50s. As I mentioned, patchy fog will develop overnight and that could lead to some lower visibility for Saturday morning. So you'll likely need the jacket to start out the day on Saturday, but into the afternoon, we are looking at a more pleasant day. So temperatures right around 40 in Waycross, 41 in McClenny, 43 in Lake City. Right along the metro points east, we're looking at 40s and 50s across our area. But again, a nice rebound in our temperature. Temperatures jumping almost 35 to 40 degrees in the upward direction. And we are looking at high temperatures for many of us near 80 degrees, if not the low 80s. And we'll continue this warming trend through the rest of the weekend into next week. Of course, we're heading to the fair over the weekend. Really shouldn't have any issues as well with high temperatures right around 79 in Jacksonville, low 80s for Orange Park, Green Cove Springs, 75 in St. Augustine, Mayport, reporting low 70s for tomorrow. So a beautiful day, and that continues into Sunday. But again, Futurecast shows perhaps a pop-up cloud or two. Really, that's about it for our area. Now, one thing I want to talk about, because once again, it's been very dry, and this has been growing the past couple of weeks and even past couple of months. Now, along the coast, we're not at least expecting any dry weather to impact the drought in terms of a worsening drought, at least right now. Remember, it's been very wet the past couple of weeks for those of us in St. Augustine down to Flagler County, points south. Remember, we had that onshore pattern last month, and that brought a tremendous amount of rain to some of us. But inland areas are asking, well, where's all of the rain? It's been so dry as we've had that onshore flow keeping the air very dry. And some of our counties in Georgia, also including into Florida, we're in a severe to an extreme drought. So these deficits continue to build. So we certainly could could use some rain. The issue is there really isn't much rain in the forecast, if anything, over the next week. So that drought will likely continue to expand. Even areas along the coast, we could start to get into this dry color here, and that's the yellow. So that could expand east. But again, this has been gradually expanding. This drought monitor is released every Thursday by the Climate Prediction Center. And again, we are looking at least some of these categories getting a bit wider here across our area. In terms of our rainfall deficit, so this is year to date. In many spots, even all the way to the coast, really not much of a deficit at all, incorporating all that rain we saw over the past couple of months. But inland, some of these numbers pretty alarming, like Palaca, look at 15 to 20 inches in deficit. Orange Park up to 10 to 15 inches, right around 10 inches or so, 5 to 10 in Jacksonville, and then even larger deficits out of our viewing area in Georgia. So again, we want the rain. The issue is that, again, there's not much in the forecast, as I mentioned. This map shows the rainfall, at least forecast, over the next 7 days. You can see where most of the rain will be over portions of Texas into Oklahoma, also Arkansas. But here across our area in Florida, there is no color over us, and that means we're expecting that dry weather not only for the weekend, but into the upcoming week, which is why I mentioned that drought situation could get a bit worse. And that's because this large area of high pressure that I showed you is parked right over our area. So into the weekend, Saturday, even into Sunday, dry front crosses on Sunday. That could pick the breeze up just a little bit more, so it could be a bit more breezy on Sunday. If you are heading to the coast, just be aware of that. And then as we head into the upcoming week, this high slides offshore. We start to get a southerly wind, and that'll bump temperatures up into the 70s and 80s. In fact, I think more of us are in the 80s over the upcoming week. So again, remember, we had some cold temperatures early this week with highs only in the 50s and 60s. Well, how about the warmth? So really quite a turnaround in terms of our weather pattern and just the span of a couple of days, but we are keeping this warmer pattern around, and then eventually we'll start to get a little bit more humidity later in the week, slightly higher. It's been so dry over the past couple of days. So certainly watching. In terms of our forecast, you can see the general warmth around as we head into Friday, so for today, and then also into Saturday. Look at the warmth each day encompassing most of the country there. Even into Sunday, those reds, yellows, and oranges, and then watch into Monday and also Tuesday. The warmth is around, and that continues for our area through Wednesday and also Thursday. You can see how large or how strong that area of high pressure is, bringing those warmer temperatures again up for the southern part of the country, even into the Gulf as well. So we'll be keeping that monitored. But again, if you are heading to the fair this weekend, temperatures should be comfortable, upper 70s to right around 80s. Overnight lows are comfortably cool, generally in the 40s, and then we'll start to see these lows go up a bit more early next week with low temperatures in the 50s across our area. So breaking down our forecast, again, look for more sunshine, little change to our pattern over the next week. So we certainly could use the rain, but again, there's really nothing in sight with that large area of high pressure overhead. Of course, if you're heading to the football game on Sunday, great weather if you're heading there into downtown Jacksonville. We'll have temperatures near 80 degrees with plenty of sunshine, perfect weather. And then we are looking at those evening temperatures dropping back into the 60s and 70s. And over the upcoming week, look for high temperatures to remain near 80 degrees with overnight lows eventually near 60. Of course, we'll have the latest weather forecast coming up this evening. But right now, have a great rest of your afternoon.
See why every day more people are choosing News4JAX, Northeast Florida and South Georgia's #1 source for local news.